peaceful out here.
Yes, thank y'all for tuning in to another episode. I wanted to get in here because my last video I did like I want to say like over an hour. I've been trying to keep my videos to 40 minutes, so I figured that if it's a couple of topics that I can get off before my usual Friday morning episode, I'm gonna just start doing it that way. I really wanted to get in here while the UFC and boxing was fresh off the weekend on Monday or Tuesday, but I had a couple things that came up that took priority. But anywho, I just wanted to get in here and give y'all a couple of quick segments before my episode I'm gonna do tomorrow night, Thursday night, and post on Friday. Quick topics I wanted to touch up on was the UFC event over the weekend, the boxing event on Netflix, and what's going on with the NBA playoffs. What is looking like as far as going into the NBA playoffs, which start on Saturday. I want to give y'all a quick update. So let's start with boxing first. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get in here and give y'all the CompuBox and what a quick take on what I thought about the fight. The first fight I wanted to cover was the Conor Ben versus Regis Prograis fight. This fight went exactly how I thought it would. I actually thought Conor Ben had the power to knock out Regis, but Regis got some heart. The thing is, he just takes way too many punches, and at the end of the fight, he came out on the wrong side of the fight. He lost in a unanimous fight to Conor Ben. If you looked at the fight, you would think Conor Ben got beat up pretty bad too, but he took some shots that was not needed. But they also had a headbutt that busted Conor Ben open. I think it messed with his vision a little bit, and Regis was able to get a couple punches off. But Regis just fights with his hands down. He absorbs too many punches. It's like his defense is gone, like his reflex is gone. And that was the story of this fight. I don't think either fighter got dropped, if I'm not mistaken. Neither fighter got dropped. As far as the total punches go, Conor Ben landed 176 punches to Regis Prograis 108. Total jabs was Ben 65 to 42. Power punches 111 to 66. To me, I think Regis maybe one round one of those mid rounds. So it was 11-1. Regis Prograis decided to retire at this fight. I think this is a good call because he's been a champion before. He's getting up there in the age. I want to say he's like a little bit younger than me, maybe like 37, 38 or something like that. He's been to the top of the mountaintop. He's won him a belt. He has nothing else to prove, man. It's no need to stick around in boxing and let people just box your head off. It's a waste of time. And you know, with boxing, all the punches to your head, you end up brain dead, CTE. You can become pretty messed up. And why not get out at a young age? 37 is still young, especially if you've been boxing all those years. It's just time to get to step aside, and that's exactly what he did. So that was a good call. But as far as the fight went, it was a solid fight. Wasn't very entertaining because I didn't. It wasn't a knockout or anything like that as I expected it to be. But Conor Ben, he looked okay this fight. I thought he should have made an example out of Regis, not knowing that he was going to retire, but he should have demolished him and then made a call out. I know that Shakur Stevenson was saying that he'll line him up, Ryan Garcia. Those are the fights you want to make, but you have to leave it out there like, look, man, I will what I just did to him, I'll do you a lot worse. And that's how you get the bigger fights. But like I said, he got the win. That's all that matters, I guess, at the end of the day. So salute to Conor Ben. Main event of the evening, what I was calling my boy Big Rush. He went against Tyson Fury, and this fight went how I thought as well. I thought Big Dog was going to be able. He is going to land the power punch and stuff like that, but he's so big that like he can't move too much. Like he's a powerhouse boxer. He doesn't have the head movement. He stands on line, let Tyson Fury get off. For Tyson Fury to be as big as he is, I think he's like 6'7". He's able to move around like a middleweight. His jabs are quick. He's light on his feet. And very impressive for it to be a heavyweight. He went out there. I think he won pretty much every round. If anything, it was 10-2, maybe 11-1. Neither fighter got dropped. I don't think neither fighter was actually in trouble. I just think Fury landed the more punches and the more cleaner punches. The total punches on here is a Fury 199 to Big Rush 59. jabs 73-13, and power punches 126-46. That's a landslide. He pretty much won the fight clearly. It was no debate. At the end of the fight, AJ was sitting out there, and they said that they were going to announce one of the biggest fights in Britain history. And they said the next fight is supposed to be AJ versus Tyson Fury. I'm not sure what was going on with AJ, because when they zoomed in on him, he was just sitting there like, this dude can't be talking to me. I've been trying to fight you. He said, I've been trying to fight you over the last 10 years. You blowing smoke. You just you doing too much, man. So I don't know if they're going to make the fight, but everybody was in the building saying that this is the fight that should happen. AJ and Wilder was talking about fighting a couple of months ago, and it just seemed like they said, man, push Wilder to the side. The more entertaining and bigger fight is AJ versus Tyson Fury. So are we going to get that fight next? I'm hoping so. But as of now, Tyson Fury is back. AJ Anthony Joshua is considering coming out of retirement, maybe to fight Fury, which will be a big money grab and one of the greatest fights in history, in Britain history. So we'll see how that goes, man. But that's all I got for boxing, man. Overall, it was an entertaining card. Even the undercard was some solid fights. So I enjoyed that as well. So if you haven't caught those fights, if you want to go catch the recap, it is streaming on Netflix now. This was a Netflix fight. Go check that out on Netflix. That's all I got for y'all on boxing. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the Mechee from the Midwest podcast for your latest on boxing. Let's take a quick break and get in here and talk about the UFC 327 card, which was a crazy card.
It's Mechee from the Midwest, muscle in the blue T-chest, looking like a steel crest. Landed on Mars with a mic in my grip, red dust on my kicks, let the bass shit flip. Got the planet vibing, whole crowd vibing, Ellie's throwing up lights like it's homecoming Friday. Biceps big as don't. All right, let's get back in here and talk about UFC on this card. What was it? 3, 7, 12 fights. I went 8 and I want to say 8 and 4. Actually, 8, 3 and 1, something like that, because it was one of them ended up being a no contest. So I guess you would consider that a draw. As far as the early prelims go, Raddick defeated Prado. That was the first fight I lost, because I started off on a loss, and that one a nice little streak. Kelvin Gastelum versus Vince Luque. Luque pulled off the submission in the first round. Solid fight. I had Luque winning that one. Padella versus Medeiros. This fight ended up being a draw. It looked like Padella outstruck him, had the more significant strikes, had more control time, more takedowns, and they considered it a no contest or a draw. I'm not sure what happened here, but I think what they did was it was a 1-1, and then the judge couldn't decide who was better, and they decided just to call it a draw. So it was a majority decision, a draw, which was crazy because they announced Padella as the winner at first. Prelims, we had Tatiana Suarez defeat Lupi Gotnes, round 2 submission. I had her winning. Gamrot versus Ribovics. I had Gamrot winning. He won by the submission in the second round. Kevin Holland versus Randy Brown went exactly how I thought. Kevin Holland started talking shit, getting the more cleaner punches off. 137 strikes to 67. Randy Brown is just one of those dudes that he looks like, as big as he is for that division, he should be able to dominate and jab people up and use his length out there, and he just never does it. Only sometimes, and you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to be a top 5, top 10 fighter fighting the way that he does. But Kevin Holland got the win decision. Main event of the prelims, we had Aaron Pico win the unanimous decision over Patricio Pitbull. I had Pico winning that one. He needed that win more than anything. He looked real good. 104 strikes to 49. Pitbull just looked a little slow. I think he dropped him maybe 1 or 2 times, but he was able to recover real quick. It just showed like it was a different level. Pico was a lot younger than Pitbull, more athletic. I think Pitbull just had the more power. He just wasn't able to land as many punches as he wanted to. Main event of the evening, main card of the evening. Cub Swanson won by TKO in the first round. Hell of a way to retire. I was happy for him because you can see the emotion. He was ready to give it all, and he went out there and dominated Nate real fast and real quick in the first round. Solid win. Next fight, we had Dominic Reyes versus Johnny Walker. I told y'all this was going to be a weird ass fight. It was a boring fight. Neither one of them was really letting their hand go. A low striking fight for a 3-round fight, 34-42. All were significant strikes. Even though Dominic Reyes landed less punches, they still sided with him. I thought, looking at it, I thought that Johnny Walker actually was winning this fight, and his punches were more cleaner than Dominic Reyes. But the judges went with split decision. They went with Dominic Reyes. So salute to him pulling off that win on a boring ass fight. This fight right here, to me, was one of the fights of the night. Josh Hokett versus Curtis Blades. I gotta say, before I went in here, I said I wanted Blades to destroy this dude, and Hokett, he's not supposed to be at this level, and he proved me wrong. He made a fan out of me. I just don't like his antics going into the fight. Like the promos. I know I'm a big wrestling fan, but like the promos he was cutting, most of it just sound corny. But when it came to them hands, he was whooping Curtis Blades' ass the entire fight. Even though Curtis was looking like he was getting the best of him at times, every time it looked like he was losing, Hogan would just go over there and just flip him off, which is crazy because he did it like 10, 15 times. And every time he did it, you could hear the crowd just going like roaring, like enjoying everything he was doing because he wasn't backing down. He was pushing straight forward. I didn't do my research because I didn't know he was a elite wrestler. He's pretty much elite wrestler coming into this fight. I just thought he was just a brawler, just talking shit. But like I said, he made me a believer. Um, Curtis Blades landed more punches. He landed 214 to Hokic 181, but his significant strikes for Hokic was brain rattlers. Like every time he hit him, you could see Blades' head just rattling and just like he was getting beat down. Both of these dudes left out the arena on a stretcher. Um, Hokie, like I said, he backed it all up. He earned himself a fight on the White House card. They announced that at the end that it will be him and Derek Lewis at the White House in a couple months. So salute to him, man. Shame on Curtis Blades because he was a number 5 fighter and you lost to somebody that was unranked on the upcoming. You let this man back you down into the corner and demolish you. He wasn't able to wrestle him as much as I thought he'd be able to with him being the bigger opponent and the heavier opponent. He just couldn't make it happen. But salute to Josh Hogan. I'll definitely be tuning in his fights. And they're setting him up with Derek Lewis. I'm a big Derek Lewis fan, but I know how he fights in fights like this. He's gonna get pieced up. Hopefully, I think they both brawling. Lewis got the heavier hands, but I think Hogan just not gonna back down. So that'll be a good fight when we get to that card in a couple months. I think they said in June. Co-main event of the evening, I had Osmanot staying undefeated versus Paulo Costa. But Paulo Costa going up in weight, he looked real good. He looks phenomenal. Wasn't backing down. Head kicks, power punches. He is putting it on Azamat, and it looked like one of those high kicks he did. Azamat tried to block it, and he pretty much, it looked like he broke his forearm or something like that. He kicked the shit out that man. He was able to get the knockout because he kicked him a couple more times, punched him up, and was able to get the knockout. He won the strike battle 61-34. This was round 3. It just shows like Azamat got pretty much 10 punches off each round. Pola Costa just doubled that for the most part. So salute to him and waited for him to get into the division. And they always said he was oversized for the division, but going up in weight and going up in the division and still coming through, beating up on somebody that was undefeated was good for him in his career. Main event of the evening, man, I was so goddamn disappointed in Jiri Prochazka versus Carlos Ulberg. I knew that Ulberg had the knockout power. I thought Jiri was more confident and more going to be more consistent with his game plan, with him being a champ before, being close to being a champ again, and earning that number 2 spot or number 3 spot, whatever he had. And he went out there and did the crazy stuff, man. If y'all haven't saw the highlights, what happened was Jiri started getting a couple of kicks off, and he kicked Ulberg in the back of the leg, and it looked like he tore his ACL or something. He kicked him so hard that it dropped him. So for the rest of the round, pretty much, Jiri got the kicking at his leg, and Ulberg would just fall down.
but he never lost his composure. He didn't look like he was hurt. I mean, it looked like he was hurt, but he didn't show it like in his face expression. He just looked confident, like all I got to do is just let him get close to me and I'm going to drop him. And Jerry got a little too cocky and started pointing to the ground like, look, let's go, and stuff. Like, I don't know if he got overexcited, but he got a little bit too close, and Oldberg was able to hit him with a clean one, laid him backwards. He tried to jump up a little bit. He hit him with another one, knocked him out. What an embarrassment, man. Jerry had the fight in the bag to be the number one contender, and he blew it. And what made me even more disappointed was after the fight, he says that he tells Joe Rogan that I backed down. I felt like compassion for him because I seen that he was injured. And it's like, no, you didn't. If you felt that way, you would have stopped kicking him in his goddamn leg. You would have punched him when he fell down to the ground. You would have jumped on top of him and punched him until the ref broke it up. You didn't do that. You got too cocky. You let off the gas, and he got on your ass. That rhymes. But that's what happened. You make stupid mistakes, man. You win stupid rewards. Now, instead of getting a championship title fight, now you get bumped back down to like 8 or 9, and now you got to fight your way back up. You're going to have to win 2 or 3 fights, and most of them you're going to have to dominate in order to get that title shot one day. So it is what it is, man. More salute to Carlos Oldberg and speedy recovery. And actually not fighting for the belt to win the belt because the belt was vacant. Alex Pereira is going up to heavyweight, so he relinquished the belt. So that was your opportunity to have the belt for the second time, and you blew it. Oldberg is a new champ at light heavyweight. We'll see what this injury says. If he has to relinquish, they might put Yuri back up in there to fight somebody else. But as of now, what a great card. This card was amazing. I enjoyed it. Can't wait for these next ones coming up. I know that the Freedom one at the White House is going to be a legendary card. But that's all I got for y'all for UFC 327, man. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to the channel. Let's take one more quick break and get back in here and be brief about the NBA playoffs.
We move on my count. 3, 2, 1.
Go, DA!
Hands where I can see them.
Down, on the ground, now!
This place is loaded. Bagging the cash. Another house off the map. Let's roll.
All right, last thing I wanted to cover, y'all, was NBA playoffs right now. We got a couple more games going on tonight. I like the play-in because these games are just winner go home games for most. Like if the 9 and 10 play, 10 is automatically out, but 9 gets another chance to play the 7 or 8, whoever wins that game. If they win, they go to the 7th seed. If they lose, they go to the 8th seed. As of now, who was that got eliminated last night? Who got eliminated? Miami got eliminated by Charlotte Hornets last night. Great game. Bam got injured. This was a back and forth game. Con Knuckle, he shit the bed as a rookie. I know it happens, but it picked the wrong time to shit the bed. But luckily, LaMelo balled out. Bridges, Miller, Diabe or something like that, the center. A lot of people stepped up, and you can't forget about Kobe White. Kobe White was the one that got him back in the game in the first place. But they move on. They will play the winner of the 76ers and Orlando Magic. So that'll be their next game. On the west side, the Suns played Blazers, and the Blazers put out the win versus Phoenix. I had both of the underdogs winning, so I'm glad they both won. I hope they lock in the spot to see who they're going to play next. Tonight, we have the Clippers and the Warriors. I got the Clippers for that one. And then we have the Sixers in Orlando. I'm going Orlando. I think Orlando is the more healthier team. I think they'll win because there's no Embiid. Drummond's going to get 14, 15 rebounds, but outside of that, he's not going to bring too much scoring. Maxey and Edge coming. Paul George's going to have to score, but I think Orlando being at home and having the more healthier team, they should pull it off. The Clippers, man, I just think the Warriors, Draymond and Curry, I don't think they're going to be able to get it done against the Clippers. It's going to be a great game plan. Curry might hit 5, 6 3-pointers, but outside of that, nobody else going to provide too many points. So I think this is going to be a big game. Even though it's in Golden State, I see Clippers still pulling this one off. Loser go home, the winner moves on. The rest of right now, we have the Lakers versus the Rockets.
We got Cleveland versus Toronto. We got Minnesota versus Timberwolves. No, Minnesota versus Denver. Knicks versus the Hawks. Spurs versus the Blazers. Number C. So it'll be the Hornets or Magic or Sixers. We're going to play Detroit, and then the loser will play. No, the winner will play Boston. So we'll get back in here on basketball later on this week. I want to I'm pretty sure tomorrow after, because it'll pretty much almost be done. We'll get back in here. I'll give y'all my predictions on that. That's all I got for NBA, and that's all I got for y'all tonight, man. Catch me Friday morning. I'll be giving my WWE WrestleMania predictions, predictions on the playoffs, music that dropped, Boston and D-Lo. We're going to get into that album. And I might have a couple more things. I'm not sure as of right now, and I can't remember off the top. But that's all I got for y'all tonight, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe to the Mechee from the Midwest podcast. Get me to 300 subscribers, and we'll keep moving on. I want to have 500 by the end of the year. If you know somebody like TV shows, movies, music, sports, wrestling, NBA, NFL, all that, we cover everything here at the Mechee from the Midwest podcast. If you want your story to be heard, if you want to be in on this topic, hit the DM, let me know, and we'll schedule something for Thursday night. That's all I got for y'all. Catch y'all next week.
All black tonight. Shirt says it all. Mechee from the Midwest. Been a long day, but the city stays awake. Hold up. You see that? MFTM in the sky. Guess they're calling.